Varghese, Northeast is a piece of our heart, says the Prime Minister, assures peace in Manipur soon. As expected, no trust motion defeated in Lok Sabha by the voice vote. We will break all records and return to office in 2024. Of course, I mean this no trust vote, which the Congress party, right in the beginning, you know, essentially the fulcrum of the INDIA alliance, Gaurav Gogoi had said that, you know, we've tabled this, and the Prime Minister continued to target Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary right in the beginning of his speech, his response in the Parliament. So the no trust motion has been defeated. Gaurav Gogoi says that the idea was not to tell you that there is a no trust vote or that we have numbers on our side. It was to make you come to the Parliament and talk on Manipur.
That was the,
so at least for about 50 minutes, the Prime Minister kept speaking and the opposition kept on screaming, "Arey Manipur pe kuch bolo, Manipur, 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 Manipur." And the Prime Minister did speak about Manipur as well. First and foremost, how do you break down the Prime Minister's response?
All of us know that, you know, we have an elections coming up in 2024. And it looks like the battle lines are being drawn now itself, and it's very simple as that. What the opposition has used is that they've tried to, in fact, move a motion. Of course, everybody knows that, you know, the BJP has got a brutal majority in the Parliament. It's with its allies, it's much more far ahead. So the issue was never about a no confidence motion. The issue was not about the trust against the government that they were trying to move. What they tried to do is that particular aspect within the no confidence motion, which forces the Prime Minister to speak in the Parliament. So that aspect of that rule is what they did, and that is why they moved the no confidence motion. So the no confidence motion was technically the battleground that was being set for 2024. And of course, this is the monsoon mission, you will, the monsoon session, and then you will have the winter session as well. Then you will have the budget session also coming up. And probably after that, you will be moving towards the elections. So we have 2 more sessions coming up, and I'm sure that no confidence motions might not be there. But interestingly, the Prime Minister, as you said,
the Prime Minister did irk, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary.
Yeah, he did in fact raise that
he has been suspended for misconduct as well, Varghese.
Yeah, he's been it's gross and deliberate and
quit India from communalization, quit India from polarization, quit India from saffronization. The power of the no confidence motion has brought the Prime Minister in the Parliament today. This is what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said, and Mahua Moitra said, "We are here to ask questions. Our turn. Abhi chup raho, Republic. Tum abhi chup raho, Republic." Where the Honorable Prime Minister tells the Governor, "Chup raho," where MPs are routinely told, "Chup raho," this motion is to break omerta, this code of silence in Manipur. This is what Mahua Moitra said.
So that is what they were saying. They were trying to have a...
Even Asaduddin Owaisi spoke in the Parliament.
He went on, but he made a very interesting... He said, is Hindutva more important than the country, asked Owaisi. So what he said is that expressed concern over atrocities against Muslims, accused the Bharatiya Janata Party-led government of the centre promoting majoritarian politics, and asked if Hindutva is more important than the nation. And then Scindia, in fact, blunts the attack by the opposition parties, is what the Hindustan Times has taken. It said that it is using Manipur as a launch pad for itself. So that is how you had Scindia, who was once upon a time a congressman, who went ahead and said this. Meanwhile, there was a side, this thing on the economic front also. You had Sitaraman saying that ho jayega, which was the kind of concept that was looked at for till 2014, is now ho gaya. That is what she had in fact
ban gaya, mil gaya,
all that. You saw, a lot of wordplay happened, Kabir, yesterday. A lot of wordplay was happening, in fact, in the Parliament
Maybe
yesterday.
we're doing exactly what our politicians in the Parliament did too. The idea is to talk about Manipur. Right?
Yeah, the idea was to talk about
Do you
Manipur.
think enough focus and emphasis was laid on Manipur? Look at Amit Shah's speech, look at Nirmala Sitharaman's speech.
Yeah, no, when we look at both of, I see Amit Shah has been saying that, you know, the government from the time the violence has broken out from May 3rd, he spoke about how he was woken up in the morning by the Prime Minister saying at 4 a.m. he was given a call, and the next day at 6 a.m. he was given a call. And then of course you have Amit Shah actually visiting the state as well. He was on the ground. There was a change in with regards to the security advisors, officers on the ground, all that happened. But the fact remains still that the violence is still continuing, and then you had that appeal from Amit Shah saying that there should be peace. But what did the Prime Minister say with it? The Prime Minister's statements were like this: "I assure the people of Manipur that mothers and daughters of Manipur that India stands by them. The House stands with them. We will work on solutions to the problems. Manipur will move on the path of progress in the times to come." And that is what he had in fact raised on the question of Manipur. And of course, you know, the Manipur was the focal point on which they in fact said that the Prime Minister needs to speak. And he had in fact given a lot of those statements on
This is what the Indian Express top page says. It says, motion of no confidence defeated in Lok Sabha. People of Manipur, the country is with you. I promise the sun of peace will rise again. I'm just asking you this question. The Prime Minister finally spoke about Manipur more than 30 seconds. I mean, he did touch upon it a little bit right at the opening statement ahead of the parliamentary session.
That is because just then the video had also come.
Right, absolutely. And it was a sensitive situation certainly because, you know, that video was out and people are expecting the Prime Minister to give a statement. But these kind of statements, again, everybody that comes to our show, you know, people who can actually, who are actually working on the ground say that there is no magic wand. And reconciliation now, after almost 3.5 months, looks a little bit more difficult.
It is more difficult. It's more difficult.
So then what do you expect the Prime Minister to do? At least the Prime Minister came out, at least he spoke about Manipur, he gave them some sort of reassurance, and it does go a long way. People were saying Rahul Gandhi made it to Manipur, look at him, he's touched the hand of the lady who's, you know, expressing her ordeal, and it goes a long way, just the fact that he's touching her hand, holding her hand, comforting her, and the woman is crying. Isn't this also some sort of comfort coming from the Prime Minister?
Well, see, you know, one of the things that the opposition has been taking up is that, first of all, look at the optics. We have a small problem over here. One is, other than Home Minister Amit Shah and various other leaders, the issue about why the Prime Minister did not go to Manipur is what the opposition has been focusing on. The opposition sent a delegation, they had Rahul Gandhi there, so they had the optics right when it comes to Manipur completely. So that is where they try to play around, saying that the Prime Minister did not in fact go to Manipur. We went to Manipur. We know the situation in Manipur. We have a delegation that went to Manipur. We had our leaders go to Manipur. So they in fact put the Prime Minister on the dock saying that, why didn't you visit Manipur? But then you have the Home Minister coming in defense about what was happening in Manipur. But again, Kabir, it's not only about Manipur. I mean, you know, the kind of course, when we talk about Bharat Mata, there was one reference that was in fact made, and those statements were in fact removed or rather expunged from the Lok Sabha, you know, the debate book of recording. So now what this, he said...
The Prime Minister has already replied.
Yeah, he's taken up. He's taken that. He said this time period of 21st century is a time for fulfilling our aspiration. Whatever is shaped during that time period will impact the country for the next 1,000 years. So he's saying that this is something that we have to be quite knowledgeable about, that what decisions we take right now is going to be important. So there he goes. He says that these are people who talk about the murder of democracy and constitution. These are people who divided Ma Bharati into 3 pieces. When the time came to free Ma Bharati of slavery, they chopped off her limbs. I mean, he did make that kind of a very powerful statement.
Away from the wordplay in the parliament, let's take a look at what's actually happening on the ground. 3 Manipur gang rape FIRs among 11 cases being probed by the Central Bureau of Investigation. MNF MP's mic muted as he rises to speak on Manipur. So Mizo National Front, you know, Zoram Thanga, he's already backed the no confidence vote.
Also, that person, I mean, look at them, they are part of the NDA. Zoram Thanga's back channel influences are being used, and then you have their MP's mic being
muted. So basically, you would expect the NDA MP to be sitting right behind where the Prime Minister was speaking from, right? So you don't want any sort of protest coming from there, because all you could see from the Prime Minister's frame were smiles coming from Prahlad Joshi and our Law Minister, Mr. Meghwal. You know, 3 Manipur gang rape FIRs among 11 cases being probed by the CBI. 40 MLAs visit Prime Minister's residence, submit memorandum. We're going to open up on that. And here
that is that memorandum is on this, Kabir, Assam Rifles.
Assam Rifles. And another Manipur woman reports gang rape on the 3rd of May. So that
when the riots happened.
When the riots happened on the 3rd of May. In an August 9 FIR, says mob also burnt down her house. A 37-year-old mother holding her 2 minor sons and fleeing a mob that had burned down their house in Manipur on May 3rd was waylaid by a group of men, pinned down and allegedly gang raped, she said, in a 0 FIR registered on the 9th of August, over 3 months after the crime. The survivor, who said she didn't report the assault until now for fear of social ostracism and to spare her family unwanted attention, decided to approach Bishnupur's women police station when she could no longer bear the trauma and suffering she went through for no fault of hers.
That is the sad part of this
entire... Imagine the thousands of people who are going through a similar kind of a trauma for absolutely no fault of their own.
I mean, a lot of people have been caught, especially women and children are the ones who are caught up in this crossfire. A lot of mixed families, like, you know, those who are Meiteis and Kukis are there both in their families, and they have mixed families. They have suffered a lot of trauma. Some of them have lost their children to these mobs as well. So it is a very difficult situation on the ground. And the saddest part is that, Kabir, it started on May 3rd, and we are now where? In August, and August 11th we are still discussing about Manipur, which is the shock part of it. And you know, Manipur is appearing on all media houses pages right now. Every day there is a story on Manipur, and this shows that the urgency of the situation, what's happening in Manipur, is not at all normal, and hope peace is restored as fast as possible.
40 Manipur MLAs submit memorandum to Prime Minister Modi. Let's just tell the viewers, you know, what exactly that is, Varghese. A complete disarmament, withdrawal from the suspension of operations agreement with Kuki groups, implementation of an NRC, and no separate administration for the Kuki tribes. These were among the list of demands submitted by a delegation of 40 MLAs from Manipur, including Naga and Muslim MLAs, to Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his official residence late on Wednesday night. The MLAs who had sought an appointment with the Prime Minister were unable to get it and handed over their memorandum to his staff. The 10 Kuki MLAs in the Manipur Assembly and Congress legislators were not part of the delegation, which was meant to be a show of strength by the N. Biren Singh-led state BJP government.
Well, also this other part of the story, Manipur tribal MLAs urge Prime Minister Modi not to pull out Assam rifles from the state.
So there is a, you know, there are two facets and factors over here. The Naga Council held rallies. They said, you know, we're hoping for peace. You got 40 MLAs from Manipur, including, you know, Muslim MLAs, who've gone there and said that, you know, no separate administration. Make sure, you know, basically peace prevails and this divide does not happen.
Yes,
on the other hand, you've got.
Yeah, you know, and they also added this, that they said that the 10 tribal MLAs who have been at odds with the Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh over his handling of the ethnic violence, said they feared for their safety because of a campaign has been started against the Assam rifles to remove them from their state. So, you know, those MLAs actually fear for their lives now.
Well, another woman reporting gang rape on the 3rd of May. 3 gang rape out of the 11 FIRs that are being probed already by the CBI. The Prime Minister has categorically said that he assures that the sun of peace will rise in Manipur once again. A lot of factors at play here, and I every day move on to the next particular segment saying that, you know, let's hope that
peace prevails.
Peace prevails, but 3.5 months, 3.5 months, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a long, long time. That's a long, long time. What's going to happen next? Well, is actually anybody's guess in this particular domain. But we're going to continue to bring you the right kind of voices, continue to make sure that we in some sort of way are able to help foster any kind of peace, quell disinformation, and well, bring you the right kind of voices on our show, because Manipur is something that we have been tracking and following closely for the last 3.5 months. News9 is your one-stop destination for all whatever is happening in Manipur and developments from there.